Welcome to AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown. I'm Sonia Baghdadi. Right now, I'm here to guide you through the biggest stories of the day. Here's our pick for number 4.
Go, Signet, go out.
Sitting on top of this SpaceX rocket when it launched in January was the first surgical robot bound for outer space.
So Mira is a small surgical robot.
Mira, made by a company called Virtual Incision, arrived at the International Space Station in February, and on Saturday, it did something that's never been done before.
Saturday was the first time that a surgical robot in space was controlled by surgeons on Earth to perform simulated surgical activities.
Virtual Incision provided CNN with exclusive video as 6 surgeons at the company's headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska, took turns operating the robot after it was powered up by NASA astronauts roughly 250 miles above.
The adrenaline was pumping, and I could feel my heart pounding. It was really exhilarating, but at the same time, once I saw that robotic device doing the things that I'm used to it doing, settled down.
Dr. Michael Jobst says he's already performed 15 surgeries with Mira during clinical trials on human patients here on Earth, but he's never had to contend with zero gravity or a time delay of about half a second.
A split second or a half a second is going to be significant. So this was a big challenge.
You can see a left hand with a grasper and a right hand with a pair of scissors. And we use rubber bands here to simulate surgical tissue.
So you could think of those rubber bands as perhaps, blood vessels or tendons or other connective tissue that has elasticity. So we're able to, grab hold of the rubber bands and then take the scissors and just basically to cut them.
All right, I'm going for it.
Yeah! One small rubber band. What a great leap for surgery.
Yeah!
The Advocate Channel looks at the world through the lens of equality, community, hope, and inclusion. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
All stations air, new track, 80306. ISS's anti-ship cruise missile inbound Gravely.
This is what the crew of a U.S. warship hears when a Houthi missile is headed their way.
MSSI, missiles away, 80306.
CNN embedded with the U.S. Navy.
Right standard rudder, steady on course.
In the southern Red Sea, where sailors have been on the front lines of the fight against the Iran-backed rebels for over 2 months.
We're on our way now to the USS Gravely, which is one of the destroyers that has been shooting down missiles and drones that they have been firing indiscriminately into the Red Sea.
Here, off the coast of Yemen, U.S. warships try to shoot down the Houthi missiles before they can cause any real damage. But the sailors have little time to respond.
We could have seconds, or we could have minutes. Based on, I wouldn't say much more than minutes.
The USS Dwight D. Eisenhower aircraft carrier, which the president ordered to the Red Sea in November in response to the Houthi attacks, has been working at a frenetic pace to keep up with the threat.
They have tried to target coalition forces, U.S. forces, through swarm attacks using multiple UAVs, using multiple anti-ship ballistic missiles and anti-ship cruise missiles. They are trying everything that they can, but we are prepared for anything that they might throw our way.
Fighter jets are launched from the Ike roughly 50 times per day, staying airborne for hours at a time so they can quickly strike targets inside Yemen and over the Red Sea.
We were woken up early this morning around 4:30 a.m. to the sounds of alarms blaring on this aircraft carrier, a sign, we are told, of a potential imminent threat by a Houthi drone that was flying over the Red Sea. That alarm indicating that these fighter aircraft behind me, they had to be ready to respond, potentially at a moment's notice.
That drone was quickly deemed no longer a threat, but it demonstrates how risky the mission is. The Houthis have also been trying to hit the jets flying over Yemen with surface-to-air missiles, officials told CNN.
You're flying these missions against the Houthis. Can you talk a little bit about what is unique or the most challenging aspect of these missions that you're doing on a near daily basis?
Well, first off, this isn't exactly where we expected to be on this deployment. Whenever you're doing something for the first time, in a region, that's not without risk, but we have managed that risk to our strike group and our air crew through the management of combat power.
With no end in sight to the Houthi attacks, U.S. officials tell CNN they don't know how much capability the rebels have left, as they continue to be resupplied by Iran.
503 is electronic attack.
The commander of the carrier strike group told CNN they will stay in the Red Sea for as long as necessary.
The sustainability, we can go for a long time. We've got our logistics train already mapped out to stay here as long as the president needs us to stay here.
The Advocate channel is now streaming live on Amazon Prime in the News app. Watch us there or go to advocatechannel.com. AC 24/7 continues with today's Top 2 pick.
The results of this special election narrow the GOP's already thin House majority, but also provide lessons for both parties as they look ahead to the general election. Suburban voters, like those in New York's 3rd Congressional District, will play a big role in both the presidential race and the race for control of the House.
Democrat Tom Suozzi wins a high-stakes special election on Long Island, beating out the Republican candidate Mazi Pilip. Suozzi, who has previously served in Congress, pitched himself as a moderate Democrat and centered his campaign on the economy and immigration.
They want us to come together and solve problems. So now we have to carry the message of this campaign to the United States Congress and across our entire country.
His win flips the seat previously held by disgraced Republican Congressman George Santos from red to blue. While Suozzi's victory does not change the control of the House, it does further shrink the House GOP's narrow majority. In his victory speech, Suozzi said he thinks the win sends a message.
To our friends running the Congress these days, stop running around for Trump and start running the country.
The Biden campaign celebrated in a statement saying, quote, "When Republicans run on Trump's extreme agenda, even in a Republican-held seat, voters reject them." But speaking to the president's low approval rating right now, Suozzi kept his distance from Biden during the race.
If he ends up being the Democratic candidate, I'm likely to support him, yes.
The president and the first lady called Suozzi to congratulate him on the win Tuesday night.
Suozzi's victory will have an immediate impact on Capitol Hill, where House Republicans made the historic decision to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas this week. The vote to impeach Mayorkas passed by just one vote.
The Advocate channel is your news source for news, entertainment, and trending stories. We're highlighting the advocates in our community. We've now arrived at our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
A celebration for a city turned into a tragedy. More than 1 million fans had gathered near Union Station in Kansas City to welcome home the Kansas City Chiefs from their Super Bowl victory, when gunfire broke out as people were leaving.
All of a sudden, people started crushing forward. Everybody started running. There was screaming. We didn't know what was happening, but this day and age, when people run, you run.
Lisa Lopez Galvan, a local beloved Kansas City DJ, was shot and killed while attending the celebration with her family. At least another 20 people were shot, including 2 of Lopez Galvan's nieces and her nephew. Jacob Gooch Sr. was at the rally with his wife and children when he heard arguing nearby. His daughter saw somebody pull a gun.
I heard the altercation of the girl who said, like, "Don't do it, not here, this is stupid," or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then the gunshots.
Gooch Sr., his wife, and his son were all shot in their lower extremities. Chiefs offensive lineman Trey Smith told ABC how he and a teammate helped people hide and keep calm.
A little kid in front of me, so I just grab him, just yank him, and just tell him, "You're hopping in here with me, buddy." So I don't know how many people there were in the closet, maybe 20 plus. One of my teammates, my long snapper, James Winchester, was very instrumental in helping keep people calm.
In Kansas City, Missouri, I'm Mike Valerio.
That's today's countdown. Download the Advocate channel app on your phone or smart TV. We're also one of Fire TV's newest free live news channels. There's more news and entertainment coming up after the break.